Germany, your thunderstorm can do better. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I do like winter. I like the weather. The only thing I can't stand about winter is the snow. Like when it's snowing, it's
What?
fine. It's
I also thought the same thing. I was like, "Ayo, cannot walk properly, meh."
yeah. And then now
But
you're
then,
like,
then now I experience myself. It's like, oh no, I'm sorry. wait. Under what circumstances would you want to sweat?
I don't know. Sometimes it's like, it's like, very frustrating working
Right.
with this.
And the F word is
particular
not
thing.
enough.
No lah, you want to
Hallo, heiße Esther. My name is Esther.
Servus, ich bin Guoy. Hello, I'm Guoy. And we are Brezel und
Karipap.
And
This one is my dog. Her name is Ollie. Do you want to say something? No. Okay, she's a bit shy. Not just now though, but yeah.
yeah, and this podcast is about us Malaysians living in Germany.
Yay!
And
Why Brezel and Brezel und Karipap?
Un is and in German. And I think as Malaysians, I think food is a very important identity to us.
True.
But I can't say the same about German food though.
Well, you might anger the wrong people here. No, so basically Brezel is a German bread, right? And then Karipap would be a Malaysian pastry. And what's inside a Karipap usually?
Karipap usually contain chopped potatoes cooked in curry, as well as a boiled egg mixed together inside that. So yeah, unfortunately we can't find it here in Germany.
No, actually, no.
Yeah.
I haven't come across any Karipap yet so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, what's the word to use here? Like for us, getting Karipap is like so normal, right? You just go to any roadside store and then you can like immediately buy Karipap. Yeah, but
That's true.
Yeah.
It's more like a... Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
okay. It's like street food. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yes. It's a street food. It's very easily accessible, and it's just something that you pick up.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna tangent into food since we're talking about it, right? Because again, food is like a very I think it's something Malaysians we really relate to. So a lot of times, like when I get asked about food in Malaysia, I would say like nasi lemak is like a very national food, right? But for me, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know how to cook nasi lemak because to me it's like so easily available.
Yeah.
You just go out, you can get it anywhere, and well, because of like shrinkflation, the triangle is no longer a triangle. So if you don't know, nasi lemak is rice cooked with coconut milk, and then it usually contains like fried peanuts and fried anchovies and
Fried egg.
Yeah, and
Or boiled egg.
Yeah, boiled egg or fried egg. That's like the basic nasi lemak package.
Forgot the sambal.
Oh yeah.
You forgot the sambal.
Oh.
Blasphemous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually the most important thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, then usually it's wrapped with banana leaf. Yeah, and usually it's wrapped in a triangle. But sometimes because of the content being so little, it's like not a triangle anymore. I'm not sure you've seen like those semi-flat nasi lemak.
No.
It's like there are certain places or certain convenience stores which sell like semi-flat nasi lemak.
Right.
It looks very sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because of inflation, do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely because of shrinkflation. Because it's really cheap. It's supposed to be really cheap. Like a basic thing like this shouldn't cost more than 150, 2 ringgit. But I think now easily it could cost up to 3-4 ringgit.
And 150 ringgit would be around 30 euro cents?
30 euro cents.
Nowadays, it's what?
It's like
3-4
3-4 ringgit, which is like what 60, so it practically 100% increase, I think. And then because of like shrinkflation, it's not as much anymore. So yeah, when you go back, then you can see for yourself
Right.
How things has changed.
I did experience a little bit of a shock when
Okay.
it comes to pricing when I went back
Okay.
last year. I
Okay.
went back to Malaysia last year, and it's just surprised me how much the prices have increased. And I thought, earning euros, I'd be able to do like, I can spend more.
We need to correct that misconception, but go on.
Yeah. I thought, okay, perhaps maybe I can spend more
Like with the
comfortably.
exchange rate, right?
Yes. I thought I could spend more comfortably, but it's not that case, guys. It's not that case. And I went back. I was shocked at the prices. I went for bubble tea, and I remember it was, I think, about 20 plus ringgit. And
Which fancy place do you go to?
well, it's. But people already say that
Okay,
it's
yeah,
quite
yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, it's premium.
But I really like the tea there.
Okay,
so but yeah, it's super expensive, and
Yeah.
I was shocked to.
Yeah,
She doesn't like pricey stuff.
yeah. I mean, because she can't have them, right? So, or she's like, you need to buy me pricey stuff as well.
Yeah, if I buy bubble tea, then I cannot buy you food. Is that what you mean? Oli. Yeah. So I was quite surprised.
Yeah, definitely things are getting pricier. Even economy rice or 经济饭, it's like a very staple. It's not economical anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's
How much?
pretty expensive. Depending on, if let's say you take, okay, in your mind, right? Let's say I take 2 meat and 1 veg. How much will you think? Plus rice lah.
2 meat and 1 veg.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say 10
Okay.
ringgit.
I in my mind that was what I think as well, but I think now it's closer to like 12 to 15.
Okay.
Depending. Yeah. And sometimes, so economy rice is basically a store where they have a lot of dishes, and you take like a plate of rice and then you grab the dishes.
It's the best thing, guys, because I think it's just such an amazing concept where you have a variety of dishes to choose from. And when I say a variety, it's usually 20 to 30 dishes, and it's amazing because where else can you find in this kind of concept in Europe? And I think it's just.
I think there is, but it's like depending on the cuisine. Maybe like Middle Eastern cuisine would have this. Yeah. But the dishes also differ if it's like a Chinese store or Malay store,
right?
Like more towards their style of cooking. And when you pick the dishes, then you would present to a auntie. I guess usually it's
a food bouncer, but
they're not gonna take their food away from you. No, you do not deserve this.
They just calculate. Okay, basically that.
Yeah, they will look at your plate and then they might take a fork and stab your plate a bit
to see if you hide anything underneath.
Yeah.
And then help you price the plate.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. So it can be very fickle pricing where today you might take the same thing and it's like it costs maybe 12 ringgit, and tomorrow their mood is better, they might cost 10 ringgit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do prefer Singapore's system a bit. Their Cai Fan it's the same thing, but instead of you taking for yourself, they take for you. And their pricing is very much standard, where if it's like 2 veg and 1 meat, it's like maybe 4 Sing dollars. It's written there very clearly. So maybe that's better, but sometimes you feel like having more meat or more veg some days.
You can add like 2 portion, no? You can say,
maybe.
hey, I want 2 of those.
Right, so it's like 3 meat and
Correct.
1 veg something. Maybe, I don't know. Not Singaporean.
Cannot speak for Singaporeans because we're not Singaporeans.
Yeah.
So Singaporeans, hit us up. What do you think about Cai Fan? Right, okay.
I guess that's enough about food. I think we can go on for quite a while.
Cool.
Being Malaysians, yeah.
Okay, food aside then, you are currently located in?
I'm currently based in Munich. Yeah, so working as a software engineer there.
Right. And I'm currently in Berlin, and I work in tech as well. So what do we want to talk about?
How's your June been?
How's my June been?
Yeah, we're recording this like
in June.
Yeah, end of June, early July kind of period. So yeah.
So June has been eventful because it started out, I went to Dresden for a Pride event.
Right, do tell. Okay, so, sorry. I think there are Pride events in Berlin as well, but how you end up in Dresden?
Because it's the earliest one, I think. Like 1st of June.
Okay.
The one in Berlin would start, I think, in 27th of July.
What? That's really late.
Yeah, that's very late. And it's also called CSD. And funnily enough, I don't know if you know, in Dresden there would be 2 prides.
Okay.
So the one that I went was 1st of June, and I don't know when's the next one gonna be.
Okay. Like, it's still surprising to me that Berlin one is like in July,
so late,
because Munich one was like mid of June as well, like the 20th something of June, that weekend. So yeah, it's surprising to me Berlin is so late.
Yeah.
So for the Dresden trip, do you plan earlier, or it's just like, oh, it's happening then you went?
Because one of my friends live in Dresden, and they wanted to go.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, it sounds interesting, and I'm free during that weekend, and let's go, and just let's experience it together.
Okay. So for people who don't know, like, I've never participated in one. Like, you can watch videos and all, but essentially when you go to this event, what it's about? Is it just participating in the parade? Is there anything else?
There are many events leading up to the parade itself. So the parade, I would say, would be the main event where you have these, trucks or lorries or floats, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Then they would blast music, and
Okay,
each
okay.
and every, let's call them trucks, each
Right,
and
right.
every truck would play different musics.
Okay,
And
okay.
if you want to, like, okay, if you like truck A's music, then you would follow along truck A's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then it's more a parade where you walk
Okay,
along
okay.
the streets,
right,
and then from a starting point to an ending point. And but there are also different events surrounding Pride. There are definitely parties
Okay.
and other things surrounding
okay.
that. Yeah.
Right. So
But
you're-
I
sorry.
only participated in the parade.
That's the main thing you went
Yeah.
Dresden for, right? Okay.
Correct.
So if let's say someone is planning to go to an event, like what do you think they need to prepare?
To a Pride event
Yeah.
specifically?
Like a prep parade specifically. A parade specifically.
I think because it's, first of all, it's going to be in summer, right?
you
So
need
dress
hydration.
accordingly.
Okay.
Wear a lot of sunscreen. And be open-minded. And if you want to join the Pride Parade, chances are you're an ally or you're part of the community, the LGBTQ plus community. So then, yeah, obviously be open-minded, right? And just have fun. Also, just remember that Pride started off as a demonstration. So it's not all party. So there's also people around this world who does not have the privilege to have Pride. For example, in Malaysia, it would be a taboo, and it still is. And there's a lot of stigma
There's
around
like a
it.
set of like complications
Correct.
that come with like identifying as
Yeah.
part of the community.
We're not going to delve too much about it, but
Yeah.
basically, if you want to join a Pride Parade, be open-minded, dress accordingly, wear a lot of sunscreen, and just have fun.
But was the weather good then in Dresden? Like,
So it was funny because it was forecasted to be thunderstormy,
Okay.
but then it just drizzled. I think
Okay.
the weather app is a little bit confusing because, we're Malaysians, right? And when we think about thunderstorm, it's really, banjir, that kind of,
Yeah, yeah.
right? But then here it's just drizzle and then occasionally some thunder.
Right,
It's
yeah. I think
very
depends on
underwhelming.
the
As a Malaysian.
Germany, your thunderstorm can do better. is that what you're saying?
No, I cannot. After moving here, when it's raining, legit there's no or little thunder. Like
I feel like it's a Berlin thing. There.
Really?
Munich's
Okay.
rain can get very windy,
okay.
and also sometimes there is a lot of thunder.
Windy, yes, but not really. Not many thunders.
Or sometimes we get like crazy thunder as well. So yeah, like
Okay.
it might be a Berlin thing, but
Yeah,
in Munich
Berlin
it's
is super windy, but not so crazy in terms
like,
of
yeah,
thunder.
but talking about the weather, sorry, I'm jumping a bit, but talking
No,
about
of
the
course.
weather, like Munich not Munich, but Bavaria, the state Munich is in had like flooding incidents beginning of June as well.
I saw that news.
Right, yeah. So it's like wow, such a dichotomy because I was in Malaysia in May, and Malaysia was very rainy during May as well. And I'm not
okay.
sure if you saw the news. Actually, some people actually died because the rain got so bad. The wind got so bad where trees fell on cars.
Okay,
Yeah, and actually people died from that.
because they were in the car.
Yeah, they were stuck in a jam essentially, right? And then big rain, huge wind, then the tree fell on some cars, and yeah, some people got hurt, some people passed away.
Oh,
So after that,
so
the
sorry.
town council actually like started not chopping down, but just cleaning up the branches so that this doesn't happen. But after that, there was like another 1 or 2 more incidents, unfortunately.
Because of the heavy rain.
Yeah, because of the heavy. It wasn't like flood. It's because like all these huge branches fell. Yeah, even affected the monorail as well. One of the days.
Oh.
Yeah, because the whole tree fell onto the track.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was. So I was hoping, June being start of summer, then Germany would be nice and warm. But when I got into Munich, it's like raining. There's no rain there, Holly. It was raining. I'm like, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's not that different from Malaysia then. When you came back, it's
when I
still
came back,
raining.
it was like still rainy. Then again with all the flooding as well. When I came back, it's like, what is flood? Like,
But did you experience the flood in Munich?
no. I myself didn't experience
Okay.
flooding. It wasn't in the city center. I think it was like in areas within Bavaria. So yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
how does that affect the local people in Bavaria? I mean,
I think mostly affected were farmlands. Maybe I could be wrong. I didn't really look into the news, but I don't think like, especially living near the city, I don't think there was a lot of impact. It's just like normal shitty weather or normal weather in Munich. So yeah. But coming back to the Pride event, sorry, we went on the whole
Weather
tangent.
forecast, yeah. So
Anything else, like besides going for the parade, was there anything else you were doing in Dresden?
no, I just walked around the city itself. Even though Dresden, for those of you who have visited Dresden, it looked old because of the buildings, the structure, and whatnot.
Okay, when you say old, do you mean like nice old or old? Nice old as in like medieval.
Historical.
Yeah,
Yeah. Perhaps that's what I mean. Like it looks historical and whatnot, but I learned from my friend that it was destroyed. Everything was destroyed during the war, and it was just rebuilt like 50, 60 years. And it's actually new buildings that are made to look historically appropriate. So I thought that was quite interesting that you would rebuild everything from scratch. Yeah. And it's a very small city or town as compared to Berlin, because Berlin, as you know, is humongous. To go from one end to the other, it could take like 40 minutes to an hour. So going to Dresden, we just walked everywhere, and it was very walkable. And yeah, in general, aside from the drizzle, I think it was a really nice day. And obviously my friends, they were very welcoming, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Nice. Will you do this again next year?
Probably not Dresden. Maybe I would want to experience other prides in other parts of Germany. So last year I've been to the Berlin one. And then this year Dresden. Perhaps next year I could try Hamburg or Munich even. Yeah, so that would be fun.
How will you compare like the previous year's Berlin with the one in Dresden?
Oh, it's very different, because in Berlin it was super big event. There was reportedly 500,000 people, so 500,000 people, imagine.
For the parade? Like coming out for the parade?
Yeah. And I have an amazing video to show you how incredible the energy was in Berlin. And yeah, people just were super. The weather was nicer than the Dresden one as well. And yeah, it's just a bigger event, and everybody was like super into it. And the difference between that and the Dresden one was that Dresden one was apparently, according to my friend, surprisingly large. They did not expect such a high turnout, but it turned out to be like big, bigger than they expected. But it was also raining slightly, so it dampened the mood a little bit. But I think it was still fun.
Was the Berlin one, not sure if you remember, but was the Berlin one around like July as well, or was it?
I don't recall.
I feel like that will play a big factor towards because I feel June is still like a very unpredictable weather period, regardless where.
Yeah.
So I think when it's July, it's more like peak summer already.
Perhaps.
So then it's like, okay, the weather would definitely, mostly be good.
Hopefully.
So
hopefully.
Yeah.
We don't know with climate change, but
yeah, it's definitely warmer nowadays. Oh my god, talking about summer, one thing I cannot stand is the longer days. So it's like still bright until 10 p.m. and then 5 a.m. is like super bright already. So I'm not getting enough sleep.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out why we're talking so much about weather is that because it's quite consistent in Malaysia, right? You don't have such a big fluctuation.
It's either it's either always raining or it's very hot. So it's one of these two variations.
Yeah. But so since moving here, you obviously have to experience, we have experienced this changing of seasons as well as longer days, shorter days as well in winter. And so you're saying that you don't get enough sleep these days. Do you have like blackout curtains?
No, I don't.
Eye masks and
no, I don't feel comfortable wearing eye masks as well. So I just like deal with it, I guess. But if I'm tired enough, I would like take.
Then it's your own decision, your own choice, right?
I'm not blaming summer. Obviously, it works like this. I'm not faulting. Yes, like I could be doing things about it. I don't disagree. But it's just like when I'm tired enough, I'll just like sleep through better. So it's just like accumulating fatigue and then just sleep it off. So that's that. Let's see.
But I quite like it though, even though it was weird last year for me, the longer days. But I think this year I felt more at ease with it because it starts to get bright around 5-ish, in the morning, and then it gets dark at 10, and then you just get more energy from the sun. Well, that's why I like it. But also sometimes you get distracted because I get distracted, where I was happily doing stuff, and then I check my watch and it's already 9 p.m. I'm like, okay, I need to prepare for sleep. So yeah, that part is a little bit distracting, but aside from that, I quite like it.
I definitely still used to having like a few hours of darkness before I sleep. So it's just like sleeping while it's still like evening sort of twilight kind of condition. It's like, but I feel like I haven't gone through my day yet. It's like,
may I recommend blackout curtains and an eye mask?
You can recommend, but I'll take the recommendation. It's a different story. Me being like stubborn as heck, but yeah.
But also because I kind of use this time in summer to compensate in winter, right? Where it's so drastically different, where it gets dark at 3. At the the longest days, it would already get dark at 3, and it's just so lethargic sometimes. And I know why people say, people talk about seasonal depression, and I finally experienced it myself last year. Do you also experience?
No, I don't really. Maybe I do. Like maybe for me it's the reverse, right? Like summer, I'm like, oh god, I'm not sleeping enough. I do like winter. I like the weather. The only thing I can't stand about winter is the snow. Like when it's snowing, it's fine. It's after the snow where where some days they are like slightly warmer, above 1 or 2 degrees, and then the snow will melt. But then because it's not warm enough, it doesn't melt all the way. And then at night it freezes, become water, and then the next day, freezes, become ice. Water freeze to become ice.
Guoy.
I Form 5 physics all they thrown. Anyway, yes, it freezes back to ice, and then it becomes really, really slippery. That is not fun to walk out with. So in those days I would just stay home.
Yeah, it's not fun, meaning it's not safe.
For one, yes, it's not safe. If you don't have like the appropriate shoes or boots, right, then it's very easily, you're not careful, you just slip, and then you might break a bone or two if you're not careful. I think that's the scary part about it.
I experienced it I think earlier this year even. It wasn't like a thick layer of snow. So but in Berlin you don't get snow like in Munich, because Munich I can see that it actually piles up,
like
right?
last winter was kind of crazy. It was snowing like 3-4 days non-stop, and then the snow did pile up quite a bit.
So in Berlin you rarely get that pile up of snow. So but what I experienced was, it was a light snow and then it immediately got frozen. So it was a flash freeze, and then people were like falling down left, right, center, So that's really, really actually quite dangerous. And I wonder if you have, or do you think people in Munich have the shoes for like with spikes or not?
No, they don't have spikes on. Like I think people like will change to boots because it's colder and stuff like that. But I don't think it's like 100% helpful. You still have to be careful, because even if you wear boots, there's still a chance of slipping actually. So I think it's very hard to imagine what this is like, because there was this video, I'm not sure you ever watched this video. There was a video a long time ago where there was this street and people just like keep sleeping on the street. They try to get out and then they sleep. Like when you watch it when you never experience it, you're like, oh, why these people cannot get up? Like, is it that hard to walk, right? And then you experience it, like, oh no, it's really, really challenging, actually. So
I remember watching a similar video. I don't know if it's the same one, but I also thought the same thing. I was like, ayo, cannot walk properly, meh.
And then now you're like...
Then now I experience myself, it's like, oh no, I'm sorry. No, I think even for Ollie that time, I was walking her, and she was also slightly slipping. Scared of falling down.
And you need to get like winter stuff for her as well, like jackets and all when she goes out.
Jackets, yes. But she hates wearing clothes. So she would act like a completely weirded out dog if I put clothes on her. And but she loves snow. And last year, very surprisingly, Berlin usually don't get that much snow. But last year, it was quite thick, and the snow got piled up, and she was really enjoying herself. And you wouldn't think that she's a Malaysian dog anymore. She loves snow so much.
I mean, it could be like, it's the same thing, right? If you're Malaysian and you go overseas, you go overseas because you want to see snow, right? So maybe it's that same.
Perhaps. Yeah.
It's like
I
so
don't know.
happy
She
to see
enjoys
snow.
it so much, and she loves eating snow off the floor.
Holly.
It's very weird.
Okay, just eat the white ones. Don't eat the yellow ones. Sometimes you will see, right, some snow that have yellow patches here and there.
It's from other dogs, and also probably from my dog.
Maybe. But yeah, I do agree that longer summer days does have its good side as well. So I have a colleague who like convinced me to do some activities in the evening now, because it's like you won't do these things in winter when it's night and then you have to wear a jacket and then you have to go. Then it's like, now it's summer, just go do it. I'm like, okay, fine.
So for example, what did you do?
So I'm actually signing up for German class.
That's not something that you can only do in summer.
No, because my classes are quite intensive. They're like Monday to Thursday, 2 hours every day after in the evening. So yeah, I think winter you'll be like, oh, I have to like wear my jacket and go out every day. Then summer.
So it's a physical class, like
yeah,
where you have to. Right.
I don't want to do online class. Yeah, that's not. But having said that, just because I go to class doesn't mean my German will improve.
Who knows? Maybe.
No. Yeah, I think learning languages just in general is hard, because regardless whatever language, there's the grammar component, right? How do you form sentences and stuff like that? And then there's the vocabulary part as well. Like you need to know the words to the things you're saying. And all this combined together, I think it's not, maybe because I'm just old, I just can't learn fast enough anymore.
Well, then again, you speak Japanese, you also know Korean. So I would say that in addition to the three languages that Malaysians usually speak, Chinese Malaysian, would be, Malay, English, Mandarin. Then on top of that, you have Japanese, Korean, and, obviously other dialects.
I feel like you're overselling it now. Like my Korean is completely gone at this point. So I have a Korean colleague, and there was once I'll try to speak to them, I've lost everything, because I haven't used Korean for many years already. So I'm like, I don't remember. Plus, I'm not.
Add German to your portfolio.
I need to actually like spend time studying. I think that's the thing. I think immersion is one thing as well, which is very important. This is gonna sound very funny, but I don't feel I'm very immersed in German while I'm in Germany. Right? Because when I work, the medium of communication is English, because the company I work in is pretty much international.
Okay.
Right. In my team, there's only probably one native German. So everybody else is from all over the world, right? I'm Malaysian. I work with Latin Americans, with Indians, with Hungarians, with Syrians, from all over the place, right? And Canadians as well. So that's why I feel like it's not that immersed. And also I don't want to speak German in work, because if you're not good in a language and then you use it at work, like things can get mistranslated. Right. And that might not be very good. I think besides that, it's like, then you go out for activities, but that's I don't go out for activities, right? So.
Okay, but I wanted to touch upon the point where you work with multinationals, which I also feel the same way. Okay. And I feel, unfortunately, English is slowly becoming my first language, even though my mother tongue is Mandarin, guys. But because you use it every day in the context of communication with your colleagues, with your friends who also live here, in Berlin. And so it's slowly becoming my main language, and my team has about 9-10 people, and there are no repeated nationalities. That's how diverse my company and also my team is. And so, it's also very fun to see the contrast between Munich and Berlin, because from what you've told me was that in Munich people don't generally speak English with you, but then it's very different in Berlin because it's so international that in Berlin you could easily survive without knowing any German. And not to say that it's a good thing, because I feel if you're in Germany you should learn the language. However, that being said, being in Berlin just is much easier, I would say, for expats. I feel like there's
definitely, like, it's my first time in Berlin as well, and then I definitely have a more international feel to it. It's not that Munich isn't like tourist friendly or like not international. I think just the vibe is different, and a lot of times people just speak German first. There are two things I want to add, which is I feel like my English has kind of deteriorated here. I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but because like when you work with, we talk about a lot of different nationalities, right? Everyone have like different levels of English. So it's kind of like sometimes you have to like tone it down, because oftentimes English is like a second language for second or third language for a lot of people. So you kind of have like tone it down to a certain level. I wouldn't say dumb it down. It's not that. It's just that you want to use clear and simple terms, right? And then sometimes when you talk to people who's like English is their second or third language, then it's like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Like you say it in a very different way than I'm used to, but I understand what you're saying. And I think being in that environment for a long time does something to my English. I'm not sure if you feel the same way.
I don't necessarily feel it, but you can tell me if my English has been
I don't.
bad.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I don't know if it's just a thing that I experience, but feel free to chime in, right? I feel when I'm speaking to, let's say, using English with my UK colleague, then I would sort of change or adapt to the way that they communicate.
Is this like where we use the word code switch?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
And then me speaking Mandarin with, let's say, a colleague from China versus a colleague from Taiwan, etc. It's also very different.
Okay.
Sometimes, I can speak Mandarin with you the Malaysian way, but I just sort of follow their suit. Like I would have an accent that is better suited or easy for them to understand.
Easier
like a more
for them
neutral,
to understand.
I would say I would switch to more formal.
Okay.
Yeah. I would not add the la, the mas and whatsoever.
Yes,
when
you have
speaking
opinion, Oli, about Malaysian Chinese slang?
So I don't think my English has been changed.
Because
so
a
much.
lot of times I have like, there's one term I want to describe this scenario or something, but I just can't remember it, right? Then I have to like break it down. I feel that way sometimes.
But do you remember it in any other languages that you speak?
Yes. Like sometimes like, there's this term in Chinese that describes this thing, but I'm not sure how to translate it into English. It's like, but because I don't know, in Malaysia it's so convenient. Sometimes it's like you say something in Chinese and people will get you. Okay, that's what you're saying, right? I mean this thing. But,
yeah, it's a shorthand that Malaysians have with other Malaysians.
Yeah,
I
or
guess.
like not just Chinese, like even you speak like Malay or something, right? Like I describe this thing in Malay, like okay, we get what you're saying, right? Kind of thing.
So do you miss that actually? Working with Malaysians?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I want to swear. I want people to understand what I'm swearing, right?
Wait. Under what circumstances would you want to swear?
I don't know. Sometimes it's like, very frustrating working with this.
And the F word is not
thing.
enough.
No lah, you want to
So swearing in dialects, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, nobody's gonna.
And you can swear it here, but probably like nobody would understand here anyway. Like the Germans would not understand.
The thing is, I mean, I can swear anytime I want.
Correct.
Right? Like people won't understand.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the point. For me, it's like I
want
want
people
people to
to
acknowledge.
You want people to understand. Okay.
Yeah. What's the point of expressing frustration when nobody knows it's frustration?
Well, they know from your intonation. I'm assuming, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing I miss. Sometimes like people like knowing what you're saying. But I think the inverse can be same as well, right? Sometimes my colleague will like say something in German and then he said, "Oh no, never mind, it's a joke," kind of thing. So you're not in the language or in the culture, then it's also like you're kind of being left out as well. So.
Speaking of the joke, which reminds me of something, like even if a joke is in English, for example, if I were to talk to my American colleagues and they talk about a joke about the Kool-Aid man. Right.
It's a very American culture
correct.
kind of thing.
So
right?
it's apparently it's, if you don't know what the Kool-Aid man is, it's a giant jug, red color jug, where it's a mascot of this, Jello. Is it Kool-Aid? Yeah, the Jello company, and then the mascot would just burst into any random walls and buildings, and and so when he talked about that joke, I was like, oh, there's a cultural difference I cannot fully appreciate that joke, and I've experienced more than once that sort of cultural disconnect, and I guess in that sense, speaking or having a community of Malaysians to talk to would be it's just incredible because you know and have experienced similar things, and you have that sort of connection just built in without having to say much.
I think that's having a shared cultural cultural and national background, I would say. It doesn't matter, like, when you're Malaysian, they're just talking about like, being a Malaysian. There's a lot of things everyone goes through being a Malaysian, right? Then, like, being a Malaysian Chinese, then you have a subset of other things that you will go through. That's like a shared experience as well. So, yeah, I would agree. I think there's a lot of cultural norms, unspoken cultural norms that just make it easier for people to understand. So,
have you met any Malaysians in Munich?
I have, mostly because of the elections, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
The elections were...
There were two elections. I mean, for me, there were two elections.
Yeah.
One was the national election in 2022.
When I first... 2022.
Yeah, I think there was a state election as well in 2023 that I was involved with, because I think only 4 states required state elections. Yeah, so I met Malaysians for both. Like, the reason why is because... you can ask the election commission. You can register with the election commission saying you are a Malaysian staying overseas, and then they will mail you the ballot. But as part of the ballot, they also have a form where you must get someone with an IC to check the ballot serial number matches the envelope serial number, essentially. So you need someone with an IC, which is a Malaysian. So that's how I met.
And you also need a saksi, right?
For this. So the saksi is not for you to... Well, I would say yes, but mostly for checking the ballots. Yeah. And also, I meet up with other Malaysians because I'm not sending my vote back directly. So we go through like...
A runner?
Bersih has a network. They set up a network where people who are flying back will collect ballots. And then they will bring the ballots back and then pass them back to Bersih, where they will sort them out to the respective centers.
So you met them, and also you had a conversation with them.
Yeah, just sit down and chat because we were waiting for more people. And then because they were collecting it. I think for the different elections they do it slightly differently. I think for the Munich one, for the national election, Munich have someone flying back from Munich. So we just pool at Munich and the person bring it over. For the state elections, I think we had to mail it to some other city, maybe Dresden or Frankfurt, I don't remember, but we had to mail it to some other city before they took it back to Malaysia.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's nice because when they send us the ballots, they use like DHL, which I'm like, okay, that's nice, because there's such a short period between the annunciation of the candidates up to the election. Like, they have the campaign period, yes, but like, you need to get the ballots early to send them back. There's process involved with that. So I think it's nice that the election commission actually sends it through DHL. So yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, I think we have gone far away from June.
Now pull it back, reel it back in. Yeah. What else about June? Well, the Euro Cup.
Yes.
Is it the Euro Cup?
Yes.
Because I don't follow football.
Okay.
The European Cup is happening in Berlin currently.
I think it's all over in Germany, right? Not just in Berlin. There are some stadiums that are in other cities.
Correct.
As well.
Yes. I think in Hamburg as well as Munich.
Yes.
So, but in general, like the main events are in Berlin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
And so many Europeans have been flooding Berlin these days.
Yes.
And it's getting...
I'm not sure if you saw it. Like, the first match was like Scotland versus Germany, I think. I could be wrong. But there was a match Scotland was playing in the early... There were a lot of Scots in Munich. So, and you see them wearing the kilt and all.
Nice.
The
other day I saw Croatia. A lot of people wearing the Croatian jersey walking around. It's kind of interesting how people... we just come and watch football. I mean, because personally, I'm not that into football, and I can see that the camaraderie of just football fans. But there are also some crazy things that are happening. I think I saw a piece of news where a man in Hamburg was shot because he was a football fan with an ex, and I don't know what happened, but shot by police. Shot by the Hamburg police, and sometimes you can just go from being normal fans to like being very extreme, crazy fans, and that's what I've experienced so far about the Euro Cup. I don't follow much of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you watched any matches?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's fine. Like, I know you already mentioned that football is not your thing. I also don't follow football at all. It's just like my colleagues were like, "Oh, we want to watch this game. Like, join us." I'm like, "Okay, fine. I'll sit down and watch." Like, the only match I watched from beginning to end is the Italy versus Spain. Yeah. And that wasn't a fun match to watch. Okay. Yeah, because the Italy, the goal was Spain 1, Italy 0, and then Spain got a goal because Italy on goal.
Oh.
So it's like a very painful match to watch.
Right.
So yeah, but maybe there'll be interesting matches in the quarter and semi-finals. Let's see. But yeah, that's the experience with Euros, right? A lot of people coming in here, a lot of tourists because of the games as well. Even yesterday, I think I saw maybe Denmark, like people were carrying some flag around and just cheering.
Oh yeah, and I saw many Dutch people also. The other day, I think they had a match, and then they were wearing their royal color, or national color. They were wearing orange and with the lion and stuff like that, and it was quite cool to see all that.
No, but yeah, I mean, for us, it's just like, for me, it's more like I just follow the vibe, and like people watching, I'll just go and hang out and watch. But yeah, not.
For me, I run away from them because I don't like crowds.
Sis, the one who goes to a parade. Wow.
That is true. Wow. That is true. What about the contradiction? The contradiction there. True. Yeah. Okay. Let's put it this way. I like to be in crowds that I intend to be in. Run away from those that I don't intend to be in.
Football fans, not my people. Get away.
Yeah. So.
Let's see, anything else in June? I think that's pretty much it. I complained about summer days already, so that's ticked. We talked about the Euros.
It's not even real summer yet, and you're complaining about
but I mean, the summer solstice is over, right? I think for me, that's the more important thing. So the longest day happens on summer solstice, and then the days get shorter from there. So I'm like, yes.
Oh, was it last? Oh, no,
last
that's
week, like June 20,
that's midsummer, right?
21st, 22nd, yeah.
Okay.
Midsummer, essentially,
Okay, so I also celebrated that with my friends, because my friends used to live in Sweden, so then Swedish people celebrate midsummer.
Because it's like the longest day. It's the longest day, right?
Yeah.
But for them, it's like there's no night at all, right?
Okay. So the sun doesn't set, and they erect this.
In Berlin.
No. In Sweden.
You went to Sweden.
No, they told me about the story. Okay. So it's a pagan thing.
Okay.
And they erect I don't know what's that called, what's that called? Column.
Okay, column.
Column, and then they just dance around it.
Okay.
And then they dance for hours and hours and under the sun, and it's a celebration now, right? But I think it's a fun thing, but we don't have that there. We don't have this here in Berlin. Like we don't erect any kind of columns and whatnot. But it was just fun to meet friends, and then we ate Swedish meatballs. Okay. Not in IKEA, by the way. Not in IKEA.
Actual
Swedish meatballs somewhere. I know, probably in Malaysia, like the introduction to Swedish meatballs would be IKEA.
I think that's what you think, right? You correlate Swedish meatballs with IKEA because that's like that's the only place you have exposure to in terms of like Swedish food. Yeah, it's like IKEA.
Coming back to the food thing already, because I feel since I moved to Berlin, I got exposed to way more different cuisines. I would say. I've tried African cuisine, which I've never tried before. I've tried Croatian, which just mainly consists of meat anyway. And what else? African, Croatian, and then obviously German. And a lot of Middle Eastern food, Greek food.
Yeah, Lebanese. I think Lebanese food
Lebanese
is great.
Food. Yeah. And it's just something that I
not just
not
the food, like the whole culture around the food. Like for example, like Middle Eastern food, I realize tends to focus a lot on starters. Right? I have a Iraqi colleague, and then he tells us about the culture and the food, and like sometimes they will have food for hours, just sit down and talk kind of thing, right? And different culture treat food and eating differently. I have like Latin Americans colleagues who are like, again, food culture is like very synonymous with love language as well. So they prepare food, everybody have a nice meal together, sit around, right? So I can't say the same about German cuisine though. I'm gonna get murdered someday. It's like I walk out in Munich and somebody's gonna stab me.
No, I feel German food has not evolved since war food. You get what I mean? That's my opinion.
Right.
Come
Is it
at
because
me.
it's like a lot of meats and potatoes?
Correct. It's very impoverished food. I feel like the cuisine, perhaps. But then
when
again,
you say this, what particular food item are you talking about? Is there a particular food item you're thinking about? Like Kartoffel salad or?
Yeah, Kartoffel salad or sauerkraut and bratwurst, like just the wursts.
The sausages.
Yeah, the sausages. And And I in particularly remember this when I went to Munich, and it's a Bavarian restaurant, and I wanted to try something different.
Okay.
And then I ordered this soup with a gigantic meatball in the middle, and the meatball was also made of some organs. I forgot what it was, and the soup was just really clear broth.
Okay.
It's just not good. I'm sorry. It's
maybe you just don't.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste probably, and I would like to pride myself in the ability to try different cuisines, but it's just that one did not suit me at all.
Maybe it's just that particular food
correct.
item. Do you remember what it is?
No, I don't remember the name.
It's like wipe out from your memory. It's like never again. Never again.
Yeah. Pork knuckles also, it's a huge thing, right? Like pork knuckle is very well known. But I think I have yet to experience or like one that is super nice and crunchy and actually is nice. Perhaps you could
I have,
recommend.
Like, been a few. Sometimes it's just a normal places like a food truck. Like sometimes there's like food trucks near the place I work. So sometimes on Fridays I think there's like a farmer's market kind of thing, and they also sell like roast chicken and pork knuckle and ribs, stuff like that. So I've tried that. That's for me pretty okay, but my food standard isn't particularly high, so it's like
Oh, what I do like though, schnitzels.
Yes, schnitzels.
Well, then again, Austrians would be like, oh, that's not German, that's Austrian. But yeah, but schnitzels I really like, and it's really big.
Do they have like veal schnitzels here? Or
yes.
Okay,
that's the best.
Yeah.
Even though I feel bad while eating it, but yeah, that's the best.
I think that's the way it's meant to be eaten. With veal. Yeah.
Okay. And so German cuisine, it's not particularly sophisticated, I would say. It's very you eat, you get full, and then you get energy to work.
You're very pragmatic.
Yes, very pragmatic. Like Germans, very pragmatic. Yeah. And do you have any favorite German food?
Kaiserschmark, I think.
Kaiserschmark.
I quite like Kaiserschmark.
Yeah, I like that too.
I mean, schnitzel.
Describe like what it is.
Oh, it's French toast? No, it's not. I feel like
it's like a bread pudding.
Yeah. I think that's closer. Yes, it's a bread pudding, usually served with jam. I guess it's called. Not called. I'm trying to remember because I don't have it often. But when I have it, it's like pretty good. So it's actually a dessert. Yeah,
it's also a hearty dessert. It's not something, for example, like an ice cream or whatnot, because it's quite it's bread, right?
Yes. It's
so
it's filling.
It's a very
pretty
filling
much like
dessert.
a pancake in some sense. Yeah.
I quite like that too.
Yes, is good. Especially you go to a nice place and then it comes out warm on an autumn day or winter day. It's like the best. Schnitzels I quite like as well, but that's kind of about it. I don't know, maybe it's like the lack of exposure to other food as well.
Other German food?
Yeah.
Have you tried any Malaysian food in Germany?
No.
You don't have that in Munich?
There is like a restaurant, but I'm so like because most of the time, like I said, I worry when I go it's a bad experience. It's like just spoil my mood, and then it's like I don't know, but yeah.
So anything else that you plan to do in June?
It's already the end of June.
Well, yeah, exactly. So you have like I think a few more days before June ends.
No, nothing particular planned. What about you?
Talking to you.
Sure.
Yeah, and I guess July would be pretty interesting. So I would use June to wrap everything up and then prepare for my for my very adventurous July. And
you're traveling, right? In July.
I'll be traveling in July, and then also just experience and enjoy summer while it lasts. And that's about it.
Do you have any concerns about, like, since you're traveling in July, there'll be a lot of people everywhere because it's like a peak traveling month, right?
Yeah, but because I'm traveling partially because my friend is also getting married. And so I'm traveling to go to her wedding. Right. And so I don't have a choice. I cannot ask my friend to, hey, move your wedding.
I mean, you do have a choice of saying no to attending it.
Well, yes, but I wanted to go. Anyway, yes, slightly concerned about the
Okay,
crowds
okay.
during summer, and also prices would be really expensive during
Especially
summer.
now with combination with the Euros, because the Euros
Yeah.
will keep on going until middle of July. I
Yeah.
think. Then there will be the Olympics as well.
In
While the
Paris.
Olympics is just in Paris, I think it will affect surrounding nations as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will, if you're coming from America or Asia, which is not near, you want to spend more time here.
Yeah.
Right? So naturally you would
Do a
not
Europe
just go
trip.
to, yes. So I think that will affect prices all over.
Perhaps so. Yeah, that's why also only in July that I've booked everything, and so I'm not too sure if I'm gonna do much in August or September. But yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's like a huge concert happening end of July now.
Yes, the huge concert is Taylor Swift concert in Munich. So
Is
super excited.
Germany stop only Munich?
No. They have it. She has it in 3 different places in Germany.
Okay.
And Munich is one of them.
Okay.
Hamburg is one of them.
Right.
And then the other one, I don't want to butcher the name because I don't remember
Okay.
it. Is yeah.
Okay.
So 3.
Right.
And surprisingly, she's not having it in Berlin.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, we have a gigantic concert hall or a gigantic stadium here that she could have used, but I don't know why she's not gonna use it.
Well, at least she's doing it in Germany. I think Malaysian fans can't.
Well, they went to the Singapore one, so
Yeah, but it's like a neighboring country which currency is much stronger. So, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the Taylor Swift concert. No, nothing else to basically. June has been quite good, and I hope July would be even better.
Oh, it'll be even hotter as well.
Definitely. Speaking about the weather again, is that I don't think I can stand the weather anymore. Like I sometimes I get so concerned. Like if I were to go back to Malaysia, like how am I gonna survive?
Oh no! Because I went
know?
back Malaysia recently as well, right? And when I went back, I was constantly sweating. I was like, shit, have I become European? And then I don't know, my friends were maybe just trying to make me feel better. It's like, no. Nowadays it's pretty warm, so like don't worry about it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think you will get used to weather. Like winter, like because I've been here 2 winters already. Like the first winter definitely was very cold. I wasn't used to how the thermostat will work and stuff like that. And then, after like the previous winter, I have better idea on how to navigate the weather.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel as cold anymore. So I think you just get used
And also
to the
with
weather.
clothing.
Yeah.
But I think personally, I feel winter is more manageable because you have heater and you just put on more layers.
Yes,
but then
yes.
summer is harder because you go naked also you still feel hot, right? So
Yeah.
that I have an issue with. And
Yeah.
also, okay, for the Malaysians listening, because you have air conditioning and you have fans in
Yes,
general,
yeah.
but that's a huge thing in Germany. You don't really have air conditioning
Yes.
most places, and
But
I
most-
remember.
Yeah, most residential they won't have fans. They won't have aircon.
Won't have fans, yeah.
Offices, yes, and like shopping centers, yes, but residential is very rare.
Yeah, and so I think the apartments are more built for insulation towards winter
Yeah,
rather than making it more summer proof.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just hot.
I think
And-
I also feel like because of like climate change, the temperature has risen. So maybe it's like definitely a few degrees higher from
Yeah.
what their summer used to be. So it's like maybe it was much cooler and chiller compared to now. So
You know how I remember me going to work back in Malaysia using the MRT, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's very hot outside, and then
Yeah.
you go enter the
Yeah, it's
MRT,
freezing,
then you're like,
right?
oh, freezing, and then at least the air conditioning and whatnot.
yes.
Here, you go enter the train,
It's warm.
It's warmer than outside, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, and you have to open like the windows
Yeah.
to get circulation
Yeah.
in.
that's probably one of the more culture shock thing when I came here. I expect it would be cooler to go into the train, and then it just gets so stuffy when I got into the train, and it's just it's very frustrating. Yeah,
Okay.
but hopefully it will not be. It will be more manageable this summer.
Hopefully.
That's it.
Okay, I think we can wrap up this first episode. This is about our June. I think in the future we'll probably share about like our origin story on how
Or
we
like
end up in
work
Germany.
in Germany as
Yeah.
well, and other things that you're interested. You can also leave a comment.
Yes.
So that we can talk about it if you're keen to know more. And follow us anywhere
everywhere. Follow us anywhere and everywhere.
Anywhere and everywhere where you can find this podcast. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Bye. Tschüss. You can collaborate a little bit or not? No, not collaborate. What's that word?